Oh no, it's live.
We're live. We're live.
Yeah, a bit late, but live.
Yes.
4 minutes, not that bad.
I was
Okay.
not too late on the stream.
But usually we have more preparation time.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're not doing a good job today.
no, today is really bad.
Ah,
Hello.
well, we are here.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Hello.
Hello. Awesome. Welcome everybody to another live stream release party. Home Assistant 2021.9. It's already. This is like we're 3/4 of all the releases of this year. There's gonna be like three more releases after this, and it's done.
Yeah, we're approaching the end of the year. It's
That is
crazy.
This day
wild.
was just like over.
Yeah,
It's gone, huh? Yeah,
yeah.
I've been like, huh. Yeah, I feel like the summer has been gone over really fast as well. Um, yeah, so welcome everybody. Welcome to another release party. Um, it's not going to be a long one. A lot of people are on holiday, and so our content is very little. I mean, we have a beautiful release, so that's going to be great. It's also our release month, and if you remember last year, we had like a week long where every day we released something cool. Last year we turned 7. This year we're going to turn 8.
Well,
And so,
wait. You said it is release month, right?
sorry, birthday month.
Birth,
Yeah,
It is birthday month. Sorry, yes,
birthday month.
8 years.
8
Crazy.
years. Yeah. So we're going to have a very cool announcement that we're going to make somewhere in the week of our birthday. We're still fine tuning everything as always. We're a lot of last minute work, but it's going to be cool. So definitely check it out in 2 weeks. We'll post an announcement where we'll post a pre-announcement of our announcement. When we're gonna do. It's probably gonna be like a live stream as well, just a short one. So that's really gonna be cool. But yeah, let's look at this release. I think Bram, welcome back from your holiday. You've been gone for
Thank you.
2 weeks, so the the front end also hasn't moved too much, I guess,
No,
except for a bunch of the energy stuff.
yeah. Well, there are some things that were done. Also, when I was away, that's cool.
Awesome. So yeah, should we just dive straight into energy?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So last month we released Energy Management and Home Assistant, and it was a very good, been very well received. A lot of people started digging into the energy usage. We've been digging in. We've been like finding issues. We've been finding bugs. We've updated a lot of integrations. Um, we have added more features, in which we'll get into a bit more later. We have added more integrations. Um, and overall, it's been like very well received. A lot of people are really into this. It's really looking cool. And so, yeah, it's awesome. I think it's the first release was good. It's always difficult to find like a place where it's like, can we is it good enough for the release, or do we need to add more features? And I think we had like a good sweet spot where we have been able to release it. And we still have some significant updates in this release, which I guess, Bram, you want to give some demos?
Demos even. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Let me share
You want
another
me to add
Energy
screen.
your?
release. This energy release was so great. I just installed IoT or what in my home. I have no solar, so I don't have this nice grass with energy producing. But it's really nice to see how much you consume in your home and maybe a way how you can save energy. So I tried and shut down some device and just try to save energy. But that was a bit
Yeah, it's. I think
surprised.
that's the killer feature is just to get you insight into how much you're using, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can just turn this off. This makes no sense to be on.
Yeah.
Talking about IOTA Watt, actually, before we get into the new features, IOTA Watt is a very popular product people can buy with CT clamps. And so you install these clamps on like your electricity wires, and it will actually monitor how much electricity is going through. And then that data now in this Home Assistant release, we've added official support for IOTA Watt. So we're actually working with the IOTA Watt creator, and the current release is just to get the data in a very basic form. We haven't fully got it tuned yet for the energy management. We're still working on that because CT clamps have the issue that they monitor the power flowing through, but if you have solar panels and you produce more than you're consuming, energy is actually flowing the other direction into the grid. So that's something that we have to make sure if we have two different meters, how much is being produced, how much is being consumed, because that's the way Home Assistant energy management currently works. And that's something we're working on. So that's something that actually the IOTA Watt will get a firmware update in the next month or two, and the Home Assistant integration will evolve, and together we'll make sure this all works. But yeah, IOTA Watt's really cool. I think how many CT clamps can you connect with, Pascal?
14. Yeah,
14.
I think it's 14.
Wow.
Yeah. I just used 3 for my 3-phase house. But so
Right.
I have open for extended.
Yeah, if you want to do CT clamps and you want to go cheaper, that's possible too. IOTA Watt is like an off-the-shelf product that works great. If you just want two CT clamps, you can actually use the Shelly. They have the Shelly Energy Meter, which I think comes in at like 50 or 60 bucks, which is
Yeah.
a lot cheaper, but also might not have enough CT clamps if you have a 3-phase power. And then if you want to go all the way do it yourself, DigiBlur actually put out a great video there's a pre-made board by Circuit US, I think it's called, which works with ESP Home, and he has a whole video tutorial on how to set that up in your house. So that's also really cool. Pretty much the whole range of CT clamp installation is covered. So yeah, Bram, are you ready?
Yes, for the first part, I'm ready. So this is my energy dashboard, and it looks kind of the same as last release, but in the top, we see something new. We have a new period picker. Previously, we could only choose the current day, and then we could go back in time to previous days. But what's new is now we can also select a week. We can see the current week or the previous weeks. We can do the same for month. So you can see what you've used by day for the month. And we have the distribution graphic, we have the total of this month. And we can even do that for the entire year. So now I have the totals of this year. Of course, we didn't have energy support at the beginning of this year, so it starts in July for me. Now I can see how much energy I used this year, and I can also go back to previous years and next year's, but of course there's no data. So that's really cool. Back to today. Something else you might notice is that there's now support for gas. So everybody that's using gas to heat or to cook or whatever, you can now hook your gas meter into the energy dashboard, and it will show you how much gas you have used. So we've also created a graph that shows your hourly usage of gas.
Yeah, I think a good thing to note here is that we've added gas to energy management because it's kind of related, because a lot of your energy usage in your house is actually heating and cooling of your house. But we're not, we made it clear that like it's a separate graph. We're not going to mix it up with energy because that graph's already pretty complicated. We currently only do gas for meters squared, and I think feet squared. Do we support that too, Bram?
I'm not sure at this point.
But
the back end should,
Oh yeah, I'm not sure about the back end. Yeah,
we should be able to do it. I have to test it.
Yeah, we did get some reports during the beta that people are able to monitor their gas in kilowatt hours. So actually, gas, when you burn it, it gets like a certain energy is released, and people are translating that into kilowatt hours. We don't support it yet. And the main reason for that is that Home Assistant works worldwide. And actually, we look into this, there's different conversions between like different gas sources have different energy that's being released based on whatever factors. So we don't currently support kilowatt hours, and we cannot also automatically convert your cubic meters to kilowatt hours because, well, we don't know what kind of gas you have. And so yeah, that's something we have to look into because we know that we did a poll on Twitter. I think a lot of people actually get their gas in kilowatt hours. So we want to definitely make sure we support it one way or another, but we don't yet. But yeah, I mean, it's everything with energy. Yeah.
I see also a lot of question in the chat about water. So water is not directly a energy parameter. So it's more a consume or how much you consume in your home, and not about the energy statistics.
So yeah, we've been getting the water question, and for us, we do not have plans to add water to the energy dashboard. For the reason that Pascal says, it is a usage of your home and not per se energy related. However, in this release, energy is based around this new concept of long-term statistics in Home Assistant. It means that we capture every hour how much, for example, if you have a water meter entity in your Home Assistant, how much it has grown each hour, and then you can actually graph this out saying like, hey, hourly, this is how much I've used. And so in this release, we're allowing long-term statistics for every sensor entity. So if you have your water be a water meter inside Home Assistant, you can now actually use the statistics graph card in Lovelace to create this graph. And that way you don't need the energy dashboard. You can just add it anywhere in Lovelace where you want. And just a reminder, every card you see on the energy dashboard can be individually added to any Lovelace dashboard as well. So if you do not like the way or the order we have set up our energy dashboard, you can actually create your own Lovelace dashboard, add all the energy cards like you want it, and include your water the way you want it. So even though we don't support it out of the box for everybody, you're able to add it to your own energy dashboard.
That's really cool. I like that that you can use the long-term statistics now everywhere. That's really great.
Yeah, and I think maybe we should reiterate what the long-term statistics does. So we have two different types of concepts. There's the metered entity, so that one that is like always increasing. For example, how much water have you used, or how much electricity have you used? And this can have a reset moment. For example, resets every night, every month, every year, or it's a lifetime meter. And Home Assistant is actually able to support all these different meters. Then the other type is like a measurement. So this is like, for example, the current temperature. It goes up, it goes down, and it's not a sum of anything. So long-term statistics, when it sees a measurement, it will actually keep track of the min, the max, and the mean value of that hour. So when you throw it into a graph card, you can see per hour how it kind of went. And then you can still see also the max that it reached. So you see in this example that Bram here has on the screen, that the max was way higher, but the mean was somewhere a bit lower.
With that release, I can just remove my Grafana integration or add-on. Not because I can do everything now, but what I want to do is now just supported, and it's enough for me. It's really cool.
Yeah, and I think when we look at long-term statistics in Home Assistant, and I think we said this last month, but I just want to reiterate, is that it's not our goal to compete feature on feature with Grafana, but instead we want to get the basics that people can achieve with Grafana, like just get the min, max, and the mean. We want to be able to offer the Home Assistant for anyone without going through the hurdle of setting up Grafana, integrating Grafana into your dashboard, and all that stuff. So we're not going to add a lot of features to long-term statistics, but we're going to keep it pretty basic, but do exactly the things that we wanted to do. And then I guess when we talk about long-term statistic, we had last month when we released it, the way we introduced the metered entities is that you would actually have to manually specify when it was resetting, like the first of the month, first of the year. And we realized that this was really getting tricky. So we realized that a lot of people were getting it wrong. We the energy chat we introduced a new channel, and we thought it was really busy, and we kept actually kind of seeing the same questions again and again and again. So in this release, last reset is out. Instead, we have a new state class called called total increasing. And if you set up total increasing, you don't specify last reset. Instead, last reset is automatically determined when we see a drop in the value of more than 10%. So that way we know that it has reset. We assume it went to 0 and it's starting up again. And so we can keep track of the growth like that. And I think so I got this new setup, by the way, where I've got the teleprompter now. I'm looking at the teleprompter, and I was actually like shooting something else for our the birthday announcement coming later this week. So that's why I have my setup like this, and it's actually annoying because I'm not able to read the comments. So Bram and Pascal, I hope you are able to keep an eye on the comments.
Yeah.
Another, when we're talking about energy, actually, to like go back a bit, is one piece of feedback we've been having a lot, that people want to see what they want to see when they look at the energy dashboard, that the bubbles that are moving are currently relative usage compared to the other usages. So if you use a lot, if you're returning a lot to the grid, you'll see a lot of bubbles going from your solar. It will move very fast towards the grid. And some people have been telling us, like, no, we want those exact bubbles to represent what is happening right now in the house. And that's not something we're going to do. And the reason we're not going to do that is that if you look at the energy dashboard as a whole, everything you see, every single card is all scoped by the period that is selected in the top right. So if you pick a day or a week, all the values you see are for that day or that week that is selected. So it is not possible for us to just, have only the balls represent something else, because that doesn't make sense. So if we are to add a dashboard of what is currently happening in your house, it will be a new dashboard, maybe a tab or something like this, but it would not be on this page, because this page is really to get you insight over a period of time what has happened in your house, and that can include today, but it can also be last week or the week before. So that's something that we're not adding what here, but we might add it in the future, but we don't have any plans right now. Like we need, Matthias is also our UX designer. He's actually on holiday too, but he is gonna, he will figure it out. We're gonna work on some UX. We'll test it out, see what the best approach for us to get current energy measurements integrated. I think that if we do it in a way, I think, current energy measurement isn't that interesting, I feel, in the grand scheme of things. I think the best idea for current power being consumed is if we to kind of show, like, to educate people, like, oh, you turn on the AC, wow, you see your usage going up. But yeah, that's something we're gonna have to look into. That's not something we're gonna add to this dashboard.
I think the last one for energy is the battery support.
Yeah, that's the next thing I want to show you. Let me
Do you have a
stop this
battery?
one. No, I don't. So that's why I have to switch to some virtual data. This one, I think. Yeah. Paulus, if you can edit.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my
No problem.
my setup here is a little bit crashy, so I'm turning some things around.
So this is the demo, and battery support is not in the demo normally, but I added it for this stream. So as you can see, we've also added support for home batteries. So this is the distribution graph. And you can see that energy from solar flowed to the battery and then at a later moment flowed to the home. So this is also a much requested feature. And I think it makes the energy dashboard really feature complete almost for most use cases. So you can also see hourly what happened, where your energy came from and where it went. So above 0 is where it went, and then you can see or where it came from, your usage. So above the 0 is your usage, and you can see that you consumed a part of solar apart from your battery and apart from the grid. And below 0 is the energy that you not used but generated, and that went either to the grid or to your home battery. And the same can be seen in the distribution for the entire day, week, month, etc.
Yeah, I'm really stoked we added battery. I think that it kind of completes the picture. I know that like some people have been asking for batteries. I'm glad it's there. And I think that the one feature that I would like to add is that there's a electric cars. Some electric cars you can actually plug into your house and act like a battery, so it can also give energy back. So it would be cool if we can have a system one way or another that like home assistant knows about your electric car being a battery and being able to better represent it inside the graph. But for now, I think this is already really cool, and I think we could hardly add any more energy sources because right now I think it's pretty full.
Yeah, the graph is pretty full. If we add more, then it becomes kind of hard to use.
I'm really stoked about that. It's so nice. It's just everything inside Home Assist. So it's show how you can make a dashboard. I mean, you can make your own custom dashboard today with Node.js. Or I'm not a Node.js specialist, but you showed that there are some release before. I mean, it's just represent what Home Assist can build and what other people also can build for other stuff, not just energy.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, the Lovelace dashboard is just it's been we redesigned it I think 2 years ago, and pretty much we've unlocked so many cool stuff like just being able to quickly add things like this energy dashboard, and also allow custom developers to do the same things. I'm really happy the way it worked out. Well, another thing that we added in this release for energy is that, as you can see on this dashboard, you see the dotted line for the solar forecast. So right now, if you go to the energy dashboard, everything is based around forecast.solar. This is a integration that will get you your solar forecast, given that you add how many solar panels you have, you give the angle, the direction of the standing, the max production it can give, and then it will tell you, well, if you're going to produce so much, and then we draw this dotted line on your dashboard. Now we got some feedback from people that said, well, I don't want to use forecast.solar, I want to use Solcast, I want to use something else. So in this release, we've actually decoupled it. So the energy dashboard no longer relies only on forecast.solar, but it can also rely on different sources. Now we don't have any other sources yet. So I expect that people will contribute those sources in the next releases, probably. I know that Solcast is that people are using it right today with like the rest sensor. So I think that other people will be able to include it. So yeah, I expect also other forecast solar platforms or integrations coming to Home Assistant.
Yeah, I think it's mainly because forecast.solar doesn't span the entire world. So in some parts of the world, you can't get the data from forecasted solar.
Right. You know, I was actually looking. There's like, you know, the academic community, the science community. They have a lot of Python packages actually around solar forecasting and solar production and measuring and this kind of stuff. It's really cool. You can anything you can think of, like it's there. And so I wouldn't be surprised at some point if we just get like a solar forecast production that is just built into a Home Assistant because yeah, it's all the Python packages are all there.
That's cool. Yeah, you just need the weather data, I guess. That's the variable.
Yeah, I think the weather data, the cloud coverage, right? That's
Yeah.
the biggest. Let's see.
I see one comment that says that it's weird that the gas has the same color as the graph here. I think he means the purple. But I think that's the stream, because this is not really purple on my screen. It is more like red, brownish.
You change the color. Maybe if someone have problems with colors, could be useful in the future.
Yeah, we did get some feedback that people don't like that we use for the different grid sources, different states of blue. But the reason we're doing that is that because for a single category, grid, we consume from grid, we use blue. Return to grid, we use purple. Solar is orange, and so if you have different grid sources, they are in different shades of blue. But you know, in the end, this is something that we're going to iterate on as well. Yeah, I think you know, what we see today is probably not what we'll see in a year from now, as this has all evolved into like something even more cool. Cool. Pum, pum, pum. Are there any other questions that we're missing?
For
Light
energy,
consumption? No.
I see someone saying could be useful to just align the colors in graphs and bubbles, but it is aligned. They are the same color.
Yeah, and if you want to see the names of those colors, you can actually scroll down because the sources table will have the colors right next to the names, so you can see what is what. Yeah.
And if you really don't like the colors, you can always theme them.
That's true.
It's more for people they are colorblind or not sure. Is that the correct word for it?
Right. Yeah. I mean I think that we need to. Well, I don't think we know enough about that, so we shouldn't look into that. How that.
Right.
What kind of solutions exist?
Yeah, high contrast and.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. What else did we have in our release? Rob, you want to put the release notes on your screen? Shall I?
Yep. I can't change. Can I just navigate?
Just change the URL to be the URL of the release notes.
Yeah, I probably can do that, right?
For the people that missed the beginning of the stream, this month is our birthday month, and we're turning 8 years old, and we're going to have a very cool announcement in 2 weeks. Somewhere in that week. We don't know the exact date yet, but we'll have something cool to announce for our birthday. So last year we had like 7 things we released. This year we're taking it a little easier. We just have a single announcement, but it is very cool, I promise you. So keep an eye on our socials. We'll let you know around that time. You want to zoom in a little, Bram?
Even more?
Well, I want to get rid of the sidebar. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we've had period selection, we've had gas usage, we have home batteries, we've added a ton of integrations that support energy now.
Yeah. Oh, and for the people that are want to get a look and feel of the way the energy dashboard works, you can actually go to the demo. So if you go to homeassistant.io, you click on the view demo, you can actually go to the energy panel and it will have data. You can browse year, month. It's all fake data, of course, but it helps you get a feel for it. Yeah, we've actually added a lot of energy integration. So or upgraded them. So I know Klaas added the P1 monitor, which is a different device that does a P1 monitoring. It reads out the P1 data from electricity meters that have a P1 port. I've been personally looking into the measurements for getting electricity measurements in the United States. As you know, I live in California. My electricity meter has a Zigbee integration, and so there's a special Zigbee profile. It's called Zigbee Energy Profile, I think. And it means that it is like you have to buy a special certified device that you have to submit that MAC address to your energy provider, and then they will instruct their electricity meter to establish a connection with that device in your house, and then you have the real-time data, and it comes from your electricity meter. This is actually really cool because you get real-time data without actually having to connect and touch your electricity meter. The bad side is that it's actually the connection can be flaky, and if it's flaky, you have to wait for your electricity meter to make a connection again to your box, and because you're not the other way around as in the normal Zigbee setup. This is actually very annoying because it also means that we cannot add the energy profile support into Home Assistant because you would need a different Zigbee radio, which is not the end of the world. Somebody did some research in it to see if like an open source version would be possible. And you have to get certified, you have to get dev kits, there's a bunch of work just to get the data. So that's just not something on our roadmap right now. We did find a device. There's two devices I have now at home that I'm testing. One device is $100. It's called the Eagle 200 by Rainforest. That one has a local API, but that box just keeps crashing. So I'm not super happy with it. I did improve the integration so that it's able to deal when the box doesn't fully work. It might also be my positioning. I'm not super close to my electricity meter. And the other is the Emporia Energy View USB stick. It's like a USB stick. It has an ESP32 in it and a Zigbee chip. It's $30, but it has no local API. I've been talking to them and they're considering it. So who knows what that means? Probably not so much. So yeah, if you want to get your real-time energy data in the US, really the best. If you can do Zigbee, you should try Zigbee, but otherwise you would have to do the CT clamps.
Can I just? There's one comment from Bosse Johansson. He said he thinks he found a bug that the month view only shows one day, but it's September 1st. There is only one day this month. So you might want to go back 1 month if you want to see a month.
Yeah, a nice touch for this view would actually be that if we could, and this is something we should look into, Bram, is that if we can put in the background kind of faded the previous month if you have the month view. So you kind of can see how you're doing compared to last month.
Yeah.
That would be great, yeah. Compare.
Yeah, I think not only for month, but also for week
for a day.
And year. Year is definitely even more interesting maybe for the climate because you might use more in the summer and the winter for cooling and heating.
Yeah, one other good request we got, which I think is nice, is to include the current temperature. If we can also long-term statistics like graph that on top of the of the energy usage, it might be nice to see if that had any impact or not. But that's also something we have to look into. There's a lot of stuff we have to look into, right?
Yeah. And things like that
Yeah.
will depend on if you heat your house with gas or if you have airco, and that a lot of info we need to have then, I guess. But yeah, but those are a lot of things we can still do and add. We're just starting.
Yes.
For the question about the Docker image, so I look at it and they should be built now. So just press reload and then update.
Yeah, whenever today we were a bit late because Frank is on holiday. So normally Frank is our release manager. So Bram was doing it and I was helping. And we only got it all wrapped up like 5 minutes before the stream. So.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the Docker containers were a bit later too.
Yeah. Next month, Frank is back. It will be better.
Yeah.
Shall we move on? We actually already discussed this too. So we now have long-term statistics for every sensor. And it's not actually every sensor. The integration still has to opt in. It has to tell us that the sensor data is actually a current value and not already a mean or some aggregated value. So if the integration tells us that it's a current value, then we will create long-term statistics. So you might not have long-term statistics for all your sensors, but it is possible for all sensors. And if some is missing, then please create an issue so the maintainer of the integration can adjust it.
Yeah.
So this is the same graph you just saw in my Home Assistant. Oh,
this one is
USB
really cool.
discovery. Yeah.
You want
Who wants to tell something about this? I only know the big lines.
Yeah, I mean, well, I can go for it.
Okay.
It's simple. Just plug in the device and you see it. But
yeah,
if you use Docker, then it's maybe not work. You need maybe restart your container to get the device because the device.
Pascal, let's take one step back and let's first explain what it is.
Yeah, so we've added USB discovery. So previously, if you had a C-Wave stick or Zigbee stick, it would be a bit a pain to set it up. You would have to find the ID of your stick and then enter that ID in the integration and set it up that way. And we've now added support for USB discovery. So as soon as you plug in a Zigbee or a C-Wave USB stick into your Home Assistant device, we will discover it and we will give you the option to configure Zigbee or C-Wave for it directly. So with one click of the button, you will have your C-Wave or Zigbee network set up. So that's
this is gonna be so cool.
Really cool.
Like we should actually, well, I don't have a unconfigured box around me, but it would be so cool if you could do like a speed run. Like how fast can we set up C-Wave? How fast can we set up Zigbee? Because basically what it is right now is that you plug it in, you get a notification, you click configure, and you're done. That's it. No more anything. It just works. So yeah, that's gonna be really, really cool. And then, so a note here is that this is, well, obviously, Pascal, you want to make your note now about the Docker containers?
Right. So Docker, if normally if you set up the Docker, have a static device mapping. So if you plug in a new stick normally, and then you don't really see the new device directly. So you need to restart your container that just get a new copy of existing device into the container. But for Home Assist OS, which also use Docker, that works because we set up the containers in a way they support plug and play with USB. So it's just a regular container installation which maybe not work correctly with USB discovery.
Yeah, and I guess on some operating systems we don't get a push when you plug a USB device in. We have to actually poll it, and I think we poll it every hour, and when you enter the integration panel. So if you refresh the integration panel, we will poll it if your operating system does not support push for USB discovery.
Yeah. And that's actually a feature that I was looking into extending. Like, it would be cool if you open either go through onboarding or when you open the integration space, that maybe we can fire off some discovery of other popular devices that are in your home but are not using default discovery mechanisms. And the one I always think that always comes to mind is Plex. So Plex has their own discovery protocol, which they call Good Day Mate, GDM, and it's just like some UDP packet to a certain port. I think it would be cool to also help discover Plex on your network.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that this is really a very cool feature for definitely setting up new networks and devices. It's also part of discovery. So if you set up Home Assistant, it will also show your Zigbee and Z-Wave devices. And then a bunch of updates to Z-Wave.js.
So actually, before we go into here, because of Z-Wave.js, we actually made a new addition to automations in Home Assistant for custom integration developers. As a custom integration developer, you can now register your own triggers. So, for example, if you have a custom integration called blah, you users could set up a automation trigger that would, for example, be blah.onChains, and that actually will load the trigger platform from your integration and send the data there, so that your integration can offer custom automation triggers. So this is something we've added for Z-Wave.js, and this is how Z-Wave is able to support a new automation trigger, but this is actually available for any integration. So we don't yet have any other integrations using it. I hope custom integrations will offer it as a way, and this will, of course, will work for any place that triggers work, right? So it's not only automations, this is also templates that are powered by triggers. One of the features I can see in the future coming for this is, for example, that the energy dashboard will have a trigger saying, hey, if we predict that I'm going to produce more than I'm going to consume by this amount today, trigger this, so that maybe I can turn on the charger for my car or something like this. The other thing is, for example, the weather integration could provide a trigger saying if it's going to rain today, trigger, or if it so if it's going to rain tomorrow, trigger, so that you can like send out push notifications in the morning or something like this. So I think there's going to be it's unlocking a lot of cool features that we're not using yet, but the infrastructure is there, so expect more of that to come.
Yeah, that's cool.
But
it's really powerful.
Yeah.
Better triggers.
Z-Wave has been getting so much love. This integration is on fire. This is all Raman is working really hard on it on the Home Assistant side, and then Dominique, he is the creator of Z-Wave.js, and he's like working really hard on that side. And of course, they have like other people supporting them. Martin, of course, is also working on the Home Assistant side. But yeah, so there's a ton of new features now in Z-Wave.js, but there's also a ton more actually coming that has been already added to Z-Wave.js and haven't made it to Home Assistant yet. But yeah, let's first focus on what's new in this release. Bram, you want to do it? I cannot read the release notes from here. The new setup is actually not really working out.
I have actually no idea about these changes. I haven't even read them. So
So, okay.
To be honest,
Well,
I was on holiday. Sorry, I didn't keep up.
yeah, we're on holiday. That's true. No, so the new thing is that there's a new trigger for Z-Wave GS, and you can actually monitor Z-Wave values directly. So if a specific value changes, you can fire off your automation. And this actually was driven because not everything is standardized in the Z-Wave protocol. And so anything that's not standardized, there's just this like, oh, these just random ass values, and you can just follow them, and there's no UI for it or anything. And so with ZFGS, you can now trigger automations for these. That's from the top of my head. I'm coming closer, but now, of course, I'm getting all blurry because of the way my camera works. Yeah.
So just answer the
Yeah,
question about migration, so you have time to prepare it. Yes, we will do some kind of migration. It will maybe not support everything, but maybe 80% will be possible to migrate between Z-Wave and Z-Wave JS.
So we're Martin is working on it, and I think that we're not gonna wait until we have a perfect migration, so that's not gonna be possible. I think that Charles just had a good idea about like how we can better take care of tracking all the different values and stuff. And so Martin is looking into that, and I hope we can have a solution soon, because the old Z-Wave is deprecated. You should really move over to ZFS. I think that if you have less than 15 devices, I would just take the jump and just do it manually. Like, you don't have to repair. All the pairings are stored on the stick. The only thing that the migration will handle is to make sure all the entities stay the same. So that's something you could also do with a find and replace relatively quick. So if you have not too many Z-Wave devices, I would definitely already make the migration, because the new integration is just so much nicer, faster, and maintained.
Yeah, it works really, really well.
Yeah.
Thinking that it only started this year.
Yeah,
crazy.
And so one of the things that was missing from the old Z-Wave, and that is now added to Z-Wave, not yet available in Home Assistant, is S2. So S2 is a security class in Z-Wave which allows you to integrate certain devices that require encryption. So, for example, a lock is an important thing. You can now include it in your network with S2 encryption in Z-Wave JS, and this is going to come to Home Assistant. So, not this release, probably the next release. We're still developing out the front end for that, but that is coming, and I think around when that is in, we should really start looking into getting like Z-Wave certification, because I think we're hitting all the marks of what is needed for to be like Z-Wave certified.
Woo! That's nice.
Yeah, just in time for Matter to be released, and then we again have like a gaping hole of like a home automation standard missing.
Yeah, standards.
Awesome.
But currently it doesn't matter, so.
All the Matter jokes.
Yeah.
So do we have more about Z-Wave, or are we going to move on?
Well, let's move on, because I don't... There's some things written there, but I could just read it, but I don't know the actual background of it.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. I can read it, but...
Yeah.
Template entities, number and select.
Yeah, these are really cool. I think in the last couple of releases, we've added like the number and the select entities. The number being allowing integrations to provide a number picker, and the same with the select. And so these were integrate entities that we for a long time held off because we felt that they were going to be not a good fit. But in the end, we realized there are cases where this is a good fit. So now people integrations can offer these. I think a lot of times when a number or select integration is used by another integration is an entity is used by an integration is because it's like a configuration kind of entity, like what is the current preset, these kind of things. But it's really cool, and now it's also available as template. So as the sensor and binary sensor, these types are available as both a state tracking template entity and a trigger-based template entity. So in case people have missed this, template entities can nowadays be either trigger-based or state-based. If it's state-based, it will actually track states in the state machine and will automatically update when the state machine changes. If it is trigger-based, you register a trigger just like a automation trigger, and whenever that updates, you can update your entity state based on the variables of that trigger or any other data that you are following. And so yeah, now that's not possible with a number and select, so that makes it really, allows you to do really powerful stuff. So we're looking forward to see what people are going to do with it.
Yeah, I think templates did a great move this year. It's amazing to see how it's evaluate.
Yeah, a lot more functions and yeah, it's great. Talking about that,
yeah,
I think we have some more template goodies.
Yes, and this is also cool. So a lot of times people will want to like iterate over the areas, find like the area of a device or an entity, and it used to be pretty tricky, and now it's all possible. So now it's just there. So you can actually quickly look up the area and use that. If, for example, if you're writing notifications and you want to tell people like we detected motion and you want to automatically include the area where the motion detector is based, that's possible. If you want to
just trigger on a group of device and then base it on an area which the device is based, you can just run different actions in the same automation.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think this is going to be really cool, and I think there is some more functions in the pipeline for this as well. It's going to come in the next release. It didn't make this current release, but it's going to be.
I've seen some entities, devices, functions, path areas.
Yeah, I think this is also going to be really good to just supercharge your blueprints, right? It's going to be easier to make reusable pieces of code that just work in any place.
Yeah, especially with the target pickers, and you can just easily get entities from an area in a template and stuff like that. Would be really cool. Yeah, Roman has been busy again.
Yeah.
I mean, just short answer a question they pop up over and over in the channel. So yes, Frank is on holiday, and he's also in the chat. So I wish a good holiday, Frank.
Yeah.
Get off the damn phone.
Now.
Yeah, I think we missed a thing in the energy dashboard that I now see. The energy configuration checks.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is actually really cool. So we got feedback that a lot of people are realizing that their entity is not working, and like, why is the energy dashboard not showing data, etc., etc. And then, so what we do now is that we actually look at your configuration and we look at what you have configured, and we're validating that the data that what you have configured is actually matching what we expect. So for example, if you pick a statistic that is not having the right unit of measurement or these kind of things, will actually now tell you like, hey, this exact thing is missing. Or maybe you have configured an entity that no longer exists. The energy dashboard will now tell you. So we have tons of different checks that are happening now. If we don't expect to see a right currency, these kind of things, we will let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if states are negative instead of positive, and if they are unavailable, if you didn't include them in your history,
Right.
all
That was
kinds
one
of
of the. We basically just summarized every possible question that we saw in the energy channel, and then we just looked at what kind of things we could guard against and make sure it gets easier. Because the goal of our energy dashboard is that it's super easy to get started. And so anytime we can help the user out inside the dashboard instead of them having to go and get help in the chat, it's a win for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. And when we did that, we also updated all the alerts and warnings. So I think they turned out pretty darn good.
They are very good looking, yeah.
Yeah. So if you see an error or warning in the front end, it looks a bit better now.
Yeah.
Missing generation of statistics. It's better now. So if you updated Home Assistant in the beginning of the hour before we generated statistics, we would skip that hour. We no longer do that. That's great.
Actually, if there was a bug in your integration that's been fixed now, you could actually delete all your statistic data and there's 3 tables: statistics, runs, metadata, and statistics, and it will then generate everything again. So that's also kind of a nice feature. We don't expose any statistical cleanup tools yet in the front end. We're looking into that, but we want to make sure that there's good guidance around it because it's a very destructive task.
Yeah. Something B Draco did, the camera images on in Lovelace, they are now scaled. So if you have a 4K camera with very large images, previously we would download all these images every 10 seconds by default to show you on your Lovelace dashboard. And especially if you have a mobile connection, that will be slow and use a lot of bandwidth. So now Lovelace will actually tell the integration the size of the image we will show on your dashboard. And the backend will generate an image of that size. So we will never download too much data and too large images. And as a bonus, he also added the functionality that we only load these images if they are actually visible. So if they're off screen, we will not update them and not use any bandwidth. So
this is actually going to be really good. We this will help reduce your mobile bandwidth if you're looking at your home screen. And actually talking about bandwidth, there was this bug in the Ring integration where it would, to validate a URL, it would fetch the whole video, and if the video fetched, then it was like, oh, this URL is valid. And this used to happen only every 30 minutes. But what happened is that Ring reduced the time to live of these URLs from 30 minutes to 3 minutes, and this bug was actually in the Ring library that we used, and we didn't realize. And all of a sudden, every 3 minutes, it was downloading all these videos from Ring. And so some people realized a lot of bandwidth usage for the Ring integration. This has luckily been fixed. So I think some people were like seeing their Home Assistant download like gigabytes every hour. That's no longer happening. So that's good.
Yeah.
Next step would be the same on the stream. So we scale the stream down to the device size.
Yeah, the problem with scaling streams is that it's very intensive, right? So like if you run Home Assistant on the Raspberry Pi and we have to resize your video stream, the Raspberry Pi might not power that through. Because so we use FFmpeg or like the internals of FFmpeg inside Home Assistant, and as far as I know, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, that's all software based. So the GPU is not leveraged for this resizing either.
I think they can use the GPU, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, there are license or was maybe the change that you now can use it without license. But
Okay.
I mean, in the future.
Yeah, but I think if you're using it in a Lovelace dashboard, you should not really use the live stream. You should use the snapshots every 10 seconds.
Right.
Only
You
if
can
you
always
really
tap on
click it in the more info, you will see. Of course, you can show the live stream in your Lovelace dashboard, but if you care about your bandwidth and about speed, and then you really should not, I think.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And those snapshots, those are optimized now, so that's good.
Yeah.
Transition of lights for the Shelly integration, always nice.
It's sometimes interesting. We get these features now. It's like, oh, we didn't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, this is for the light bulbs they sell, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Or maybe also the dimmers, not sure. Light now supports local push instead of polling. That's always good for your resources and speed.
Yeah.
Oh, and we have DSMR support for Sweden. That's cool.
Yeah,
So
I
you
think
can
we're
also,
slowly building out the Dsmr support for different countries. I think I saw on Twitter today somebody in Portugal having a P1 port with DSMR. So, we're gonna see if we can add support for that too.
yeah, it's cool to see that rolling out throughout Europe.
Yeah.
It's a
Yes,
great protocol.
On the comments, it's on the Shelly. It's for light and dimmers.
Nice.
Cool.
I think some things they miss on the list. It's got forgotten or so. It's the Docker image now based on Alpine 3.14.
Right.
So what does that mean? What do we get from that?
That means the image built around 10 minutes faster. That's great. Yeah.
And will Home Assist also run faster for the user?
And I didn't test it, but I don't think so. It's more, yeah.
Actually, Home Assistant will be running faster in the future because this is trend where I think Facebook has been investing a lot in making Python faster and actually contributing it upstream into the Python. I think Python 3.10 already has a bunch of async IO improvements. And actually, because the Instagram website uses a similar stack to Home Assistant, so they use async IO and Python. So this is awesome because this means that Facebook is spending a bunch of their money on engineers to make also Home Assistant can run faster because of that.
And we use also the memory management from then.
Right. And Microsoft, they actually hired Guido van Rossum, the founder of Python, and he's leading a team also just focused on making Python faster. So there's from different parts of the industry, people are really working on making Python faster. It's really cool to see because for a long while, this has happened with Node, right? JavaScript has been getting faster and faster every release, and Python never really had this kind of investments. And now, finally, it's getting more and more important. Python is getting more important, and so we see also more investment. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. Musiccast Yamaha has media browse features. That's cool. So you can now pick media. Can Musiccast play any media? I'm not sure if they have their own sources or if you can play any media source. I don't know Musiccast. The Rainforest Eagle. It doesn't sound like an energy integration device thingy.
Right. Yeah. No. That's the one I talked about earlier. Talk Zigbee to your energy meter with the local API. So that's it's a bit of a frustrating experience, but it works. So it's cool. And actually, like some people with Sands, if you use Sands in the US, CT clamps from Sands, those will also work with energy management now.
Cool.
Yeah. What else? Let me see. What happened in the last month? Oh, I had a call with Tuya again. So people don't know, Tuya is a Chinese company, really big. They make a lot of different IoT stuff, um, affordable IoT stuff. They also do a lot of white labeling. So in Holland, like the Kruidvat, but also in Europe, the Lidl supermarkets, they have like Tuya-based smart home devices. Like generally, when you see like a random store you didn't expect from introduce home automation stuff, it's generally Tuya stuff, and it always works with like the Tuya app and the Tuya cloud. And Tuya actually has a team that is working on facial home assistant integration, and it's been a custom component, and they're like getting it into core. I had a call with them, and they're gonna aim to have it included in October in the release of Home Assistant, so next month. They initially had a plan to do it already including local API, but that's not going to be possible because the people that maintain the local APIs didn't want to like standardize on the current local API. They want to do something else. That's kind of like getting stuck there. It's Tuya is like a billion-dollar company, right? So a lot of people with a lot of different groups. So at least, but it's coming, and it's actually, I'm stoked because I think this is the biggest company that is building an integration for Home Assistant. So I'm glad that they take us seriously and that they're willing to build this out.
Yeah, it will add support for so many devices. That's
Yes.
just great.
Yeah, because they have like they have the range from like switches to light bulbs to air conditioners to fridges, all that stuff, right?
Yeah. It's just easy to integrate it for a manufacturer, so they choose Tuya. And if we have local API with them, that's just awesome.
Yeah. Well, so the local API is not going to come from the get-go. So it will initially be cloud-based.
Yeah. Then I guess the devices will need to update if the local API will change.
Yeah, so I don't know how that's all gonna work. They'll figure it out. The first goal is to just get this in, right? Like get a officially endorsed Tuya integration inside Home Assistant, and that's already gonna be cool.
Yeah. Definitely.
So, boom. Bunch of new integration.
Tractive, that's for tracking your dog, right? I think I've used that once for a colleague of mine.
It's cool that we're still seeing, new companies pop up with new integrations and they get into Home Assistant. That's really awesome.
Yeah. With a bunch of integrations that now are available to set up from the UI.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
Move forward.
Yeah. Making it easier.
I guess that's it for the release. Any new hardware, Bram? Pascal?
I've been away. I have not
been away.
Oh, I installed. I finally installed some Shellys in my holiday to monitor the energy usage of my washer and dryer.
Nice.
I just installed the IoT Watt. Yeah. But there was also a supervisor update we had previous blog post. And we released that supervisor update with a core update.
Oh yeah, that's good to mention. One of the things for the supervisor that's really big is that we're adding support. So Debian did a new release, and we have added support for this new Debian release. And as per our deprecation policy, that means that the old version of Debian is now deprecated. And we will remove support for this in 4 months. So you have 4 months to update your host system in case you run Home Assistant supervised. So this is not if you run Home Assistant operating system, Home Assistant container, don't worry. This is only for supervised installations. And this is actually one of the reasons why we always warn people do not use supervised, because updating your operating system can be hard. So I hope that people figure it out if you did. Debian has some guides actually on how to do it. So I hope that works out. But yeah, I think that's the biggest change, right, Pascal?
Yeah, and the OS agent. So we have now support for OS agent. And yeah, if inside the operating system, it's for sure just installed. But if you're running Debian, you should need just manually install the OS agent and keep that up to date. So if someone is around, they want and can maintain a Debian package. So we are open, and it would be nice if someone will join to our group and help to maintain the supervisor installer a bit, more more simpler for at least for the user they use this way to install it.
Right, yeah, the operating system agent is it's a great addition because it allows Home Assistant supervisor to better integrate with the operating system.
Right. So we will see new cool features in soon.
Yeah. Hey, I just literally, talking about hardware, I literally just got a box actually. Like this is not staged. It looks very staged, but like UPS just stopped by, and this is actually, well, I'm hoping this is what I think it is actually. This is the new Yeo remote prototype. I don't know if you guys remember yeah, 1 second. The Yeo remote was this open source remote. I don't know how to open this.
Open it,
Yeo,
open it.
Yeah. So the first generation of Yeo was an open source remote you could 3D print, powered by a Raspberry Pi Zero. And for the second one, they're actually going to launch a Kickstarter, but they were being hit by the component shortage and stuff like this. But this is all, I don't know if you can see it, but it's all, this is not official packaging, right? This is like, I get like always stuff sent to me all the time. I actually haven't seen it, but it's so it's a remote that has like its own operating system, and it has Home Assistant integration. So basically, well, it looks like this. Actually, it's not. Well, I cannot really show it on the stream in that like. I don't know if I'm allowed to show it. Actually, it's too late now.
Was a bit too late now.
Did you sign an NDA?
I did not sign an NDA, so I guess.
Oh, then you will be fine.
Yeah. No, but like, well, they want to have promotion anyway. But no, it's gonna be cool. So it's a remote.
It's pretty
nice.
thin.
It is thin
right?
because they redesigned it. The old one was using, I think, a Pi Zero, and now they're using some chip. I've been talking to the founder a bit, but they were really hit by the component shortage as well. But it's actually sweet. It has a touch screen as well, right? So it's like, you can actually interact with it. It has like, it will show your, your areas of Home Assistant and control the lights and stuff. So this is really, really cool. That's how much I'm going to show because I don't have it set up. So this is obviously a really poor onboarding. Oh, I actually got to show this box. This is actually, I don't know if this is the final box, but look, it slides open. That is sweet.
Oh, that's nice.
It had the original Yeo remote. The base of it had ESP8266 in it. I don't know what's in this one, but it was it has infrared in it, so it can actually.
Yeah, it's ER blaster, right?
Yeah, it has the ER blaster in it. So you charge it like this. Ta-da. But I'll post some photos on Twitter when I got this all going. Well, actually,
Yeah,
I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check with Martin if I was allowed to share all this.
so
Otherwise,
besides just a remote, this is just really a user interface for Home Assistant or any home automation platform,
So
right?
the remote talks connects to the Wi-Fi as well, and will talk directly to Home Assistant. And so it has your latest home automation stuff, but it can also control your TV, of course, and then it controls whatever Home Assistant has. And I think it has some direct connections as well, but I don't know yet because I'm obviously not having it installed yet. Yeah.
Cool.
No,
So,
actually, the reason I actually talked about hardware is because I went to IKEA, and I know, like, in my Twitter bubble that I live in, a lot of people have been playing with these devices. These are like it's a $12 air quality monitor that you can get from IKEA, and it will actually show red, orange, or green depending on how the quality of your air is. But people have realized that if you screw them open, you can actually attach a D1 Mini and ESP8266 to it, run ESP Home on it, and you have your air quality inside Home Assistant. So that's
cheap, yeah.
yeah.
Because
cheap,
normally
yeah.
the sensor is really expensive. I have some around.
Yeah, I think so this one only has a PM 2.5 sensor in it, so it doesn't have like the whole spectrum, right? I think if you, I was actually looking at like building just a air quality monitor myself, and I think the carbon dioxide sensor itself is like $30, just like
Yeah,
a single
is.
sensor on AliExpress. It's insane how expensive it is.
Yeah.
I have 2 of them, but never the time to really mount them. And that's now, I think, 4 years now. So I hope they work if I have once in my lifetime for it.
So Paulus, you've bought a new sensor. Did you already install the temperature Bluetooth sensors then?
No.
You were not allowed to buy new stuff.
I know. So that's no, but I went to IKEA and then I just bought them. So yeah. No, I have not done the Bluetooth stuff. I think we talked about last month, right? Yeah. No, I have these.
These.
Yeah. No, but I did plug one on, so I can see that it's like 26 Celsius in my
Yeah, I did the same.
in my room. But something in Fahrenheit, I don't know, 70 or something. But 80, I don't know. But no, I will definitely do that one also somewhere. It's just I always get distracted, and I have to. Bram is right. I have this rule where like I don't buy something new until I've played with the last thing I bought to play with, which I think is a pretty good rule. But
Yeah.
It means you never get to buy anything.
I just have so many stuff to mount.
The problem is also we get like stuff sent up like this. Now the Yield remote, which I'm a bit scared actually to put the remote like, I have 2 young children, so I hope it survives.
Yeah, you might want to keep it in your office.
Yeah, but then it's not useful. Yeah, it is. I mean, it feels really nice. It's like it looks like a MacBook, right? Like the aluminium case. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks premium. Really slick and nice.
Yeah, I think that's actually they are planning to go for the premium market. So, which sucks because it means it's gonna be expensive. But the last time there was this remotes like these that were open, they always get bought by the big home automation companies like Control 4 and stuff, and then that's the last one. I think the Neo remote or something, and then they get pulled off the market, and they're going to be exclusive for those commercial home automation offerings, or not commercial, like high end.
So video about this remote. So the idea is to have just one remote in your home, and you can control every smart home device just with that device. So
yeah, also the remote connects to Home Assistant, so that gives you all the power, but then it will also you can set up different bases. The bases itself can do the ER blasting, and the remote itself can do the ER blasting. So that way, you can control. You can pretty much just walk around with the remote through your house, or you can have different remotes.
So you can also control the IR blasters from Home Assistant?
So that was I think, so the Yield Remote 1 allowed you to control the ER blasters from Home Assistant. I do not know if so the Yield Remote 2 is a complete rewrite. So I don't know what the status of it is. Yeah. But yeah, the Yield Remote 1 was really cool. I met the founder, and I held the Yield Remote 1 when I visited, they're from Copenhagen, Denmark. And so I was there, man, I guess 2019 already. It's been forever. So yeah. Yeah, I think after that they started working on the remote too. So it's been a year and a half in the making or something now.
Yeah. Good things take time.
They do. All right, cool. Do we have anything else for this release?
I think we are done.
No, there's a question from about ESP Home. Somebody's asking, when do you expect ESP32 CS support? I think this person means C3 support. So as you know, Otto, the founder of ESP Home, is actually working for Nabokasa this summer. And he has been working on 2 things that are coming to ESP Home, if he manages to finish them. One is support for encryption. So that way, an ESP Home device and Home Assistant will talk encrypted to each other. Right now, this communication is not encrypted. So if somebody is on your network intercepting packets, they can see it. Not the end of the world. Like, it's not a big use case of, it's not a big attack factor, I guess. But still, having some encryption would be nice. So that's something coming definitely to the ESP32 devices. I'm not sure if he was able to get it to the ESP8266. And the other thing Otto is working on is migrating ESP Home to be based on ESP IDF and not ESP Arduino. They're both different ways of interacting. Like, it's a development layer that Dsmr5, the creator of ESP devices, offers on top of the ESP chips. And ESP IDF has a lot of resources behind it, and ESP Arduino has fewer resources behind it. Like, I think there's only like 3 people or something working on it. He told me. Oh, he is I was talking to the CEO of Dsmr5 the other day. So he said, like, you should just go to IDF. So Otto is working on going to base ESP Home on the ESP IDF, so that we will be able to support all the different ESP chips that are coming out. And the ESP32C3, which is going to be the actual successor of the ESP8266, so single core, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, should be supported by then. But we don't have a timeline, I guess. So it's done when it's done. Yeah. Yeah, I think, when we don't really do live streams for ESP Home, which is maybe we should do it from time to time, because I know there's people having more questions, and I think it would be cool to actually have Jesse, who is also working full time on ESP Home for Nabokasa, and maybe Otto on the stream to answer some questions. I see Jesse is also.
Yeah, he's on stream or
he's over in the comments as well, on YouTube comments. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's commenting that it should work soon.
Yeah.
Even with Arduino.
Awesome. Okay, well, that's let's see. Oh, for ESP Home, other things we're looking into is getting better support for the dashboards. Will be able to pick up ESP Home devices that are not backed by, like right now, the ESP Home dashboard will only show nodes that also have a YAML file on your computer, but that might change soon, where we will show all the ESP Home nodes on your network, and we'll also be able to map them to your configuration of YAML if you use the MAC suffix. But I mean, these are all, like, yeah, it's cool stuff if you work with it and been hit by it. But yeah, are there any other questions?
we can say new cool stuff will coming for
A
sure.
lot of cool stuff is coming. Yes. Oh, and if you have missed the announcement earlier, we are going. This is more like a pre-announcement than an announcement. It's our birthday month. Home Assistant is turning 8 this year and this month on September 17 exactly. Or is it 17 or 13? I forgot. But that's bad. I think it's 17. Home Assistant is turning 8, and so in 2 weeks we are
17.
gonna 17. Yes, thank you. We're gonna announce something cool for our birthday. So it's really cool. We've been working on it for quite a while. Last year we did like 6 releases. We released every day of the week something. This year it's only one thing, but it's bigger, better, and awesome. So
It's really
definitely
big.
keep an eye on our socials where we were gonna drop a link to where we're gonna announce it will be another live stream. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for that. It's gonna be cool.
I will promise no one will miss that. So just keep your eyes open.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, what else? Boom, boom, boom.
Somebody asks how to add a gas from a Dsmr5 meter. If you've set up your energy, your electricity from your DSMR, then you will figure out how to do it for gas. It's the same. It's 2 clicks.
Yeah, that's actually really cool about the DSMR standard that's on electricity meters is that it will also, at least in the Netherlands, it's providing your gas usage. So
Yeah.
that makes it really easy. Yeah. Bum, bum, bum. Somebody asking supervised Ubuntu server support. Not gonna happen. We limit it to one operating system, and that's already like enough like work as it is.
We are a small team on that part,
Yeah.
so we just cannot.
The thing is, operating systems. Once you get down to the level of operating systems, there's so many different things happening in every operating system, and they all update in their own pace. So for us to just support one operating system is already a big task, which we do gladly, but we're not going to add more work to that. Right. So that's it, I think. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Not as long as normal. Well, still 1.5 hours. That's good. We hope you enjoy the release. Definitely check out in 2 weeks what we're gonna announce for our birthday. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're on Facebook. Follow our page. If you're on Twitter, follow our account. If you're on YouTube, subscribe and hit that bell over here. Something.
Like button
Yeah.
and subscribe button and maybe
Right.
share button.
Yeah. Oh man, I realize now that we had your screen up the whole time. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody, and we'll see you all next time.
Good
Oh, we
evening.
didn't
Bye.
introduce ourselves, guys. Now they don't know who
yes,
they
so-
saw.
Right. Let's do it quickly, right? So
Yeah, introduce yourself.
I'm Paul Stouten, the founder of Home Assistant.
I'm Bram Krachten. I'm a front-end developer for Home Assistant.
I'm Pascal Wissely and I'm a backend developer, so kind of
Operating system.
operating system supervisor,
Yeah.
whatever. Docker container, image, package.
Oh, somebody wants to see the remote once again. I mean, look.
Yeah,
the thing is, I'm sitting very far.
Do your
very
camera
far from the-
in large view.
Yeah, well, I should. God, so many buttons. You know, I can actually okay, I'm gonna do something. I'm probably gonna regret this, but I'm gonna change my camera to be on my phone, and then maybe this will work. This is gonna go all wrong. Where is the? If you don't want to see the remote, just tune out. But there you go.
I see shoes.
Ta-da!
Shoes.
Oh, sorry. So this is the remote.
Oh, it
Then
looks really slick.
setup is in the remote. I don't know. I got to type. Wow. Anyway, it looks really nice.
So that's a speaker and a microphone. Looks like it.
I guess so. I should give it a
Maybe
name.
voice.
Profile name. I'm totally gonna regret setting up like this. Denmark. Oh, it's full. Look at that. Look how smooth that is. I think they use OpenGL for this. What's my country? United States. Time zone. Oh, they forgot I'm in the United States again. I'll just type something. Oh, let's search this word. Oh man, I'm like totally messing this up on stream. Okay, I'm not gonna set it all up because this is all gonna like people are gonna be like, this is. Oh yeah, now I have to log into my Wi-Fi. Anyway, it's a cool device, I think. Well, it is a cool device. This is how it looks in the stack. Look, I'm just live streaming my whole house. All right. Well, that's it. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Till next month.